What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Brent Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG. That's DAILYDOG. That's just one word, and use that on UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog app for a deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Yes, if you put in $1,000, you'll get $1,000 in bonus cash to play with on the site, which if you win, you can withdraw for real money. So take advantage of that promo while it is up at $1,000. It was $250 all summer, so 4x the possibilities there. All right, let's get into our plays. We're sticking with US Open. I can't not do US Open while we've got tennis happening in North America. We've got the biggest tournament on American soil of the year happening, and we've been so close to hitting our show slips of the last 2 days. Lerner Tien, the 18-year-old American, was not able to get it done versus Arthur Fees. We needed him to win 18 games. He ended up with 15. He won a set, and he just fell apart in sets 3 and 4 in that one. He had won 10 games in the first 2 sets, and then 1 and 2. So I think actually 13 games he won in that. So that was unfortunate, but the pick with Mattia Bellucci to lose lower than 1.5 sets versus Stan Wawrinka was no problem, no sweater. He won in straight sets 3-0. And then Alina Evanesian to win higher than a set, or I guess it's technically Beatriz Haddad Maia lower or higher than 0.5 sets lost. That came home. Evanesian broke Haddad Maia in the first set, won the first set. Or she broke her in the first game and then won the first set. So that was also no sweater. It just stinks that young Lerner Tien ran out of gas there, but that is okay. We can go back to the drawing board here with some more tennis. This one starts about 11:45 a.m. Pacific, but don't hold your breath. I have a feeling that it's going to be starting closer to 12:45, as I say every day. Don't get too attached to these tennis start times. The unpredictability of how long matches are going to be really play a factor. And these matches are usually delayed, especially in the 5-set men's matches. I mean, we had a Dan Evans, Karen Khachanov match that went 5 hours and 27 minutes today, setting a U.S. Open record. So, don't get too attached to those start times. Don't plan your day around it. You just kind of are at the discretion of when they actually get going. So these first 2 plays are at the 11:45 a.m. window. Again, I think it'll be a little bit late. We're going to start out with Ugo Humbert, lower than 12.5 games lost versus Francisco Comesana. Comesana had a nice upset in the first round against Daniel Altmaier, but whatever. He had his day in the sun. He got that check for making it to round 2. That is probably where his success is going to end at this tournament. And Ugo Humbert is having the season of his career. He's up to number 17 in the ATP rankings. Again, I usually say don't get too lost in the rankings, but in this case it matters. Comesana is Argentinian. He's most comfortable on clay. This is some fast hard courts up in Flushing, New York for the U.S. Open. So I think Humbert is going to be able to kind of cruise through this. I think that he's going to get 3 straightforward set wins, 6-3s and 6-4s, and he is not going to lose more than 12 games in this tournament or in this match. So the play is Ugo Humbert lower than 12.5 games lost against Francisco Comesana. Next, we are going to Aryna Sabalenka versus Lucia Bronzetti. We're going Sabalenka lower than 18 games played versus Bronzetti. Sabalenka is playing really well right now. Her service games are strong. Her return games are strong. I have a feeling that she's going to blast through Bronzetti. Bronzetti might not be in this position in the first place if it wasn't for some health issues with her first round opponent who had to retire in the second round or in the second set of that round 1 match. So I think Sabalenka is going to be in control from the get-go here. I mean, I really think 6-2, 6-2, or 6-3, 6-2, or something like that is in the forecast for this one. So it's going to stay under 18 games played. I'm very confident of that one. Last one, we're going to the night. We're going to the night window here. We're going Novak Djokovic higher than 28.5 games played against his fellow countryman Laslo Djere. Djere is a solid server. He's obviously not an elite player like Novak Djokovic, his fellow Serbian. But I think Djere is good enough to force a couple tie breaks here. If he gets 2 tie breaks, then this is going over 28.5. So it's not necessarily, I don't think Djere's going to win this match. I don't think he's going to be in a position to win it really at all. Maybe he wins the set because, it's Djokovic and sometimes he slows down a little bit and conserves some energy in the middle of a match. But again, these guys also have played each other a couple times. So Djokovic is 2-0, but last year at the U.S. Open they played, and it was a 5-setter. Djere kind of gave Novak everything he could handle, and then before that in 2022, they played at Belgrade in Serbia, and it was a 3-set match on clay. So Djere knows how to extend the match versus Djokovic. Again, I don't think he's going to win. I mean, that would be the biggest upset of the tournament so far if he pulls that off. But again, I just think that he can force these matches to go long. I think that he can hold his serve. And again, I just don't necessarily think Djokovic is going to be selling out and kind of burning the gas tank this early in the tournament to kind of have a dominant performance versus a guy who can usually control the match pretty well on this with his serve. So again, I think that this is just good value on Djere and Djokovic to go long because again, 20.5 games played. That means we got to get to 29 games. If there's a set 1 tiebreak, you're at 13. If there's a set 2 tiebreak, you're at 26. You're already there. And again, you can go 7-5, you can go 6-4. 6-4, 6-4. I mean, this number really has baked into it Djokovic winning sets with multiple breaks in them. And again, I don't think he's going to be putting on the gas tank. If he gets 1 break, I don't know if he's going to be trying so hard on the return games. So really good value, I think, higher than 28.5 games played in this 5-set match between Novak Djokovic and his fellow countryman Laslo Djere. So this 3-leg slip has Ugo Humbert lower than 12.5 games. It should be Humbert. I can't use a French accent and a Spanish accent in the same sentence, but it should be Ugo Humbert lower than 12.5 games lost versus Francisco Comesana. Aryna Sabalenka lower than 18 games played versus Lucia Bronzetti, and Novak Djokovic higher than 28.5 games played versus Laslo Djere. That is a 6x multiplier, so pretty straightforward there. Next, we are going to be going to, well, before we get to the Dong Squad, let's talk a little bit about the promo, Underdog Fantasy. You can play season-long best ball. You can play daily fantasy. You can make pick'em slips like we're doing on this show right here. There's a ton of stuff on that app that is fun to play around with, and it is a lot more fun to play around with when you're using free play, and you get up to $1,000 free play if you load your account and sign up with promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG at underdogfantasy.com. Right now, they've got promos for NFL Week 1 in that Commanders versus Buccaneers game. They got Baker Mayfield at 209.5 passing yards. They got Rachaad White at 49.5 rushing yards. Terry McLaurin, 47.5 receiving yards. Mike Evans, 54.5 receiving yards. If you wanted to build a slip around any one of these players, I really don't have a problem. These are all so low that they're all very much in the window of high success. I'm leaning towards Terry McLaurin. I think that Terry McLaurin is going to have a really big year. I think that Jaden Daniels can get the ball to his playmakers. I mean, that's how he won the Heisman last year. What he uses his legs, obviously, but he also knows that putting the ball in the hands of the guys that can make big plays is going to help you win games. Accurate passer, strong arm. So again, I really like Terry McLaurin higher than 47.5 passing or receiving yards. I mean, it's 4 catches, right? 4 catches, he should be over this, and I think that just the way that this team is running out of offensive weapons, they're going to funnel the ball to him. I mean, maybe Zach Ertz steals a couple targets here or there, but again, who else is going to be stealing? Diame Brown? No. Terry McLaurin, higher than 47.5 receiving yards, is my favorite for this Week 1 game between the Buccaneers and the Commanders. All right, let's go to the Dong Squad. We're going to start with Brent Rooker at the Great American Small Park in Cincinnati. Bullpen day for the Reds, yeah, that will work for me. Give me Brent Rooker. He's only had 1 home run since returning from his paternity leave. He is due to hit a couple more. He's too good of a home run hitter to not, and especially when he's getting the Reds pen for basically the full game. Give me Brent Rooker to start this one off. Next, I love taking home run picks against Griffin Canning of the Angels. I'm going with Riley Green of the Tigers to get one here. I just think that lefty versus righty, Griffin Canning leaves a lot of balls, lot of meatballs over the plate. Riley Green can make big things happen against this pitching opponent. Last one, we're going to be attacking Walker Buehler of my Dodgers. We are going to take Adley Rutschman, the switch hitter, to hit a home run at Dodger Stadium. It's tough going against my team, but I have no faith in Walker Buehler now and for the rest of this season. I mean, it probably will take about 6 or 7 good showings next season before I actually have faith that he is back and can be an ace pitcher in this league, because what we've seen lately has been far from excellent. So that 3-leg home run flex slip includes Brent Rooker, Riley Green and Adley Rutschman. That is a 69.61x return on your money. If it goes for 3 for 3, if it goes 2 for 3, you get 13.65x back. All right, that's all I've got for you today. I'll give you the show slip one more time because it's a lot of tennis names that you probably don't know if you don't follow tennis very closely. So Ugo Humbert, lower than 12.5 games lost versus Francisco Comesana. Aryna Sabalenka, lower than 18 games played versus Lucia Bronzetti. Novak Djokovic, higher than 28.5 games played versus Laslo Djere, and that's a 6x multiplier. All right, that is officially all I've got today. Let's make some money.